Greetings and welcome. Wow, it is the end of June, and that means that it's another Health and Wellbeing Cafe. It's an opportunity to share happiness. Woohoo! So I am so happy and delighted to see so many beautiful women on the call with me. I've told them that I may be prone to have a little bit of technical issues, and they've already forgiven me. So thank you so much for those of you who are on the live call, and for those of you who watch the recording. And hopefully you're going to get out the energy that's here. Yeah, I've just explained it's much better to be on the live call, but I appreciate sometimes life happens and you can't always be here with us. All right. So just for those of you who are with me, as I've just said, off recording, it is being recorded. So if you don't feel comfortable having your image shown on the screen, then please feel free to put your video on to, turn your video off. I've put, please keep your microphone muted, but it is an interactive session as well. So you will have a chance to ask questions. And I do ask those of you who are with me live to give me a bit of interaction. And we're going to be on the call until 9 o'clock. And if you want to stay and chat afterwards, there will be an opportunity to do that. So this is the first part of the interaction. I would really like to know your expectations. I've got my guest speaker here, Sara Giller, thank you so much. But I've also got Nora, who's here for the first time. Rebecca, I think it's been a while since you've been here. And let's see who else is here. We've got Alex. Alex has been here before. So, just from what you can see on the screen, if you don't mind sharing, let me know what has motivated you to be here and what you're expecting from the evening, please.
It would sound awful when I say I actually haven't got a clue.
Oh,
surprise me.
Surprise. Well, it may be full of surprises, Nora. Great to have you here. I know that you're particularly keen to hear Sara speak because that's what you said on the post. So that's
the last time.
That's really good news. Brilliant. And Rebecca, what about yourself?
Well, we spoke today, didn't we? So I suppose with using crystals and things like that, just a bit more of an inside knowledge and probably for healing and things like that. So
brilliant. And Alex, great to have you back. What's motivated you to be here?
I would like to find out more about crystals.
Crystals, wow, that's fantastic. Well, as I said to you all in my marketing messages and those that I've spoken to, Sara has got a wealth of knowledge, so this is definitely a call that I am thrilled about. All right, so moving on. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Vanessa-Mary and I'm a lifestyle coach for mums, and I educate mums of any age, whether that be on your physical health, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, and also spiritual matters. So I do that in a number of ways. I describe them as lifestyle workshops, and this would be one of those lifestyle workshops. So thank you so much for being here. I'm working with a wonderful woman, Julia Patterson-Trigg. She's our community coordinator. Literally just received a message from her that she won't be able to attend this evening, but watch this space because we've got something very exciting planned for September. So I'm really enjoying being part of a team. So that's really good news. Okay. I just want to explain my vision, particularly for those that are either new to my work or you're not really clear about what I'm doing. I do empower and support mums, as I've just said. And I've got a big vision. It happens in the lifestyle workshops. It happens on calls like this. It happens out in the community with a new service called Zumbini, which is about music and development for children. And I'm having a lot of fun. And to let you know as well, you know, I've been doing this work for a number of years. So some of these photographs are outdated. For example, those babies are about 3 now. So I will be updating my pictures, but, you know, I just love to look back and see how far things have come. And also, Rebecca, you've been with me from the beginning when I started out in my journey all those years ago. So thank you so much for supporting me. So I am actually an ambassador with Herbalife Nutrition as well. So towards the end of this talk, I will be sharing my story on my nutritional journey. As I said, I'm a licensed Zumbini instructor, and there's really exciting things happening locally for me in Nottingham. So, you know, there's many mums. I think I may have one dad that's contacted me who are signing up for the class that I'll be running in July. So that's so exciting. I'm also a group leader for a business community where I've met Sara and the lovely Nora, actually. So I'm a group leader for a business community, and we connect with parents and grandparents and also those who are providing services. We do that twice a month. It's called the 4N Parents Networking Lunch. If you wanted any information about that, please let me know. So if you're in business and you want to connect with other business owners, that's a fantastic way to market yourself. And finally, I'm an ambassador for another network called Mums at Work. Again, I've met the wonderful Sinead in the 4N community, and Julia and I will be hosting networking sessions in Nottingham from September. So Rebecca, that will be something that we will definitely be inviting you along to as a business owner yourself. So there's lots of exciting things happening. All right, but actually my mission and my vision isn't just about those mums who are around me. I'm very passionate about giving back. So one of the local mums here in Nottingham, her father set up a charity called Aid to Gambia, which I believe is probably about 15 years old. So I've been doing fundraising for those, for that charity, and I want to do much more. I'm going to be organising a sports day for the Pramfit community in the summer. So that will be a fundraiser, and the funds will go to Aid to Gambia and also the Herbalife Family Foundation. So even if you don't have toddlers at the moment, but you see me doing that, you know, fundraising mission over the summer, please do support that, because they're both fantastic charities. Okay, so I'd just like to have a bit of reflection time. It's really important that we take time to pause and really recognize how far we've come. So this part of the evening is based on you reflecting on your own health and well-being goals that you may have set out for yourself, maybe at the beginning of the year or the beginning of the month. So for those of you who are on the call with me, I'd just like to check in with you and get some idea of how things have been going for you this month. So based on the questions, if any of you would like to share what your health highlights have been this month, I would love to hear from you, please.
I was just checking that I wasn't on mute. Okay, I'll take.
Thank you.
You know, and Sara knows, I fell last Saturday. Okay, so I am quite active because I walk my dog twice a day and go on long walks. So I feel I'm usually pretty healthy. But I went down, hands and knees, really horrible. Anyway, I have been doing a healing meditation. I did it that day. I came home, I was just lying on the couch, and I did this healing meditation from David G. And if you don't know him, it's David with J-I. He's fabulous, and he's on Insight Timer, which is pretty much free for anything you want. And honestly, even that first day, I just felt better afterwards. And I've done it every day since. And I'm going to do this. If you do it for 8 weeks, it's 56 days. If you do it for 8 weeks, it has been scientifically proven to change your brain, to make you more focused, to make you kinder to yourself and kinder to the world. So I'm doing it every morning, first thing. It is the most wonderful, wonderful meditation. I can't even, it's like it's a full body scan, and you can lie down while you're doing it. You know, it's just, I just float. I float through the morning. It's the most, so the gift in my fall was discovering, because everything that's, you know, I do look ahead like this, that everything that, you know, you can say goes wrong, well, I always look for the gift in it. And so the gift in that fall was that I discovered this meditation. So happy days.
Well, Nora, as I said, I was shocked when you said that you had the fall, and, you know, obviously sent you my best wishes. But also when you mentioned David G, I just had to tell you how much I really love his meditations. His voice is amazing.
Oh, he's just
to
a
me,
person.
Yeah, when I listen to guided meditations, not being rude to some of those that have, you know, shared their gift, but some voices I don't connect with. No. And, you know, I just cannot kind of carry on listening. But with David, he's got the most soothing voice ever. And I love it how
wonderful. And he's such a cute little, I did a live 21-day challenge with him. He introduced me to meditation. And so I did this with Mike Dooley last year. And like, so every day he was on, and he is the most, and he doesn't believe that you have to, you know, sit with your, you know, it's comfort is queen. He says this thing, and he's so pretty. He's got the most beautiful face. But he was in the Twin Towers on 9/11 and was one of the lucky ones. And he walked away, and he kept walking. He just was in, he had been in corporate, and he just left the corporate world. And so I love his story, apart from what he does for me now. But everybody, I swear, if you don't know him, go look for him. It's amazing.
He is amazing. And I love the fact that he gets us to chant in the meditations as well. That's really opened up a new way. I just remembered,
he's actually starting this week coming. There's a 7-day challenge. If anybody is interested in I don't have the details, but I know I'm doing it anyway. So, and I have my partner even roped in. And he ain't the person to be doing meditations, can I tell you? So it's just.
Oh, that's marvelous. Well, I'm glad that you are smiling, even though you've had that experience. I'm sorry to hear about that.
Cool, now.
Anybody else wanting to talk about your health highlights from June, please?
Well, my health highlights in June, say I've recently got a young puppy. So and obviously because the weather's been like really nice recently and stuff, I've been making sure that I'm getting up earlier than usual, taking her for a walk, especially up the country park, up Bestwood Lodge. And I've noticed that that's helped with me with my health and also my mental health. So that's something that I'm going to be carrying on with. And I'd say to everybody, really, just get out in nature, because it seems to work.
Get a dog. Just get a dog. Everybody should get a dog. What is your puppy? What is she?
She's a cross American Staffy, and she's crossed between a blue staff as well. So she's got lots of energy. So obviously I've got the other two dogs, they're older dogs, so they don't need as longer walks. But obviously when we got her, we thought, right, I've got to get myself into a routine, because obviously she's got a lot more energy than the others. Yeah. So, I mean, I have noticed a massive difference with my health as well, just getting up that, I mean, I struggled at first getting up, obviously, before, you know, getting the kids to school and things like that. But I must admit, it definitely has. It's nice to wake up, and because it's bright early nowadays, you can hear all the birds singing and things like that. It's something that you sometimes miss. Not many people wake up that early, do they, and go out in nature and hear all the birds singing. You know,
yeah, so. Yeah, my boy is he's Staffy crossed with a Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he's nearly 7, and he still has twice a day race the ball twice a day around the field. So yeah, huge energy.
Oh, wow, Rebecca, that's amazing. I've forgotten that you've got the puppy, because I've met her and she is lively. So yeah, great to hear that you're doing those early walks. Fantastic. So what I really want us to talk about now is, where do you feel you need to focus in the coming month? Now, I feel quite embarrassed to say this because it is recorded. So anybody who's been following either the lives or recordings, you will know that I am desperately trying to get in the gym. So yes, that photograph that you can see was probably taken last week after I've come back from either a step workout or a boot camp workout. So the cardio exercise is still going really well, but I need to get into the gym to build muscle. And I found a gym buddy, and we said we were going to go together, and we haven't even contacted each other. So I've got no idea what's happening. And now she's gone on holiday as well. So I'll look out for her photographs on social media to let me know when she's back. And it will be something that I have to do, because I'm getting a lot of pain in my legs. So the muscle in my legs is actually going. So I really do need to build that muscle up. So where do you need to focus? Please let me know, because you will help me to stay accountable.
I'm like you, I need to tone. Now I need to go in the gym. I need to do, well, even if I don't go into the gym, well, I need to do exercise. I need to get the weights up. I need to do the weights, and I need to do some stuff like that. I was doing really well until the fall. You know, and it's because that's what happens. Then you're not, you know, something happens, and you're unwell, or you know, whatever, life. But I do, yeah, I'd be really good actually to have somebody else to say, come on, what did you do last week? You know,
I just find, you know, I talk about accountability anyway in my programs. And I do know that having that one to check in with, like, I've asked myself, what keeps me going to the classes? So yes, they're fun, they're energetic, I look forward to them. And also I'm making friends in the classes, so I don't feel as though I'm on my own. Whereas going to the gym, I know Rebecca hates the gym. She's very much an outdoors woman. She's got horses and all sorts. And Rebecca used to say to me years ago when we were younger, oh, I don't like the gym. And I kind of get it, because it can be quite a lonely experience. But because I'm looking for the weight bearing exercise, I know going into the gym is going to help me. So yeah, getting an accountability buddy is something that I would recommend, definitely. All right, so I don't know if anybody else wants to share. So what I'm going to do is move on. And I'm going to tell you a bit about tonight. So in a moment, I'm just going to share some thoughts with you about tuning into your superpowers. That's one of the things that I love to talk about, how as women we are, and men, but there's no men on the call, and my community is for women. So this message is for the women. Let's tune into our superpowers. Then we're going to hear from Sara, who's going to talk to us. I've called it a Quartz Crystal Masterclass, and the original title is Everything That You Need to Know. But Sara said, wow, that's probably over 2 talks. So Sara will tell us the highlights from the Quartz Crystal, and how the Quartz Crystal can really have a positive impact in our life. Then we'll take a break. And then afterwards, I'll come back and I want to share my health journey with you, particularly for those of you that don't really know the journey that I've been on over the years. Now, there will be a raffle prize, so you have to stay on the line. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got Denise here. I know Denise is traveling, so that's probably why she hasn't turned her camera on, but thank you so much, Denise, for tuning in. I want to give you some dates for your calendar, and then we'll have a short discussion about celebrating your wins, because again, that is really important. All right, so moving forward, I call this bit changing your mindset to change your life, and it's really about personal development. So the quote that I've got for you this evening has been, I love this one, to become a student of change is the only thing that will remain constant. And it is about the fact, you know, so congratulations for those of you who are on the live, and also those that are watching the recording later. You know, you're showing yourself that you want to take in new knowledge, and that's how you're going to make positive changes in your life. So I just wanted to talk about tuning in to your superpowers. And, you know, as women, we are one of a kind. You know, I know that I've got mums on the line here. I know I've got women who are busy doing their business or doing their work. We are actually so active with so many different things. And I want us to think about our inner abilities. So just ask yourself the question, are you a healer in the work that you are doing? Do you have any telepathic qualities that actually maybe you either have been ignoring or you've been developing those qualities? Who are you influencing in your life? So with your superpowers, who are you influencing? So some tips for you to expand your superpowers, and we've spoken already about the importance of exercise. It's really important to keep your body active because it will actually change so many different aspects. So the brain chemistry for you will change. You'll get higher levels of serotonin coming through. That's going to make you feel much happier and in a better place to really sort of sharpen your skills with your superpowers. I do recommend that you find your tribe. So if you are developing your intuitive skills, yes, you can read books and you can actually test out certain things yourself, but when you have a tribe, a community around you, it gives you more confidence to know that what you're doing, you know, you're on the right path. So let's just touch on some of those higher skills that may be coming through to you. So there's clear audience, and this is where you've got clear hearing. So sometimes we know that the direction that we've been given, I call it directives sometimes, or I call it downloads. You know that the information that's coming through to you isn't from your own direct thoughts. Now, this is your intuition. You are tapping into your superpowers. So are you hearing constant messages that are divinely given? Okay. Or are you clairvoyant? Now, this is where you may see things. So you may have insight. You don't know how you are seeing these visions. They may come through to your dreams. But again, it's messages that are coming to you through your intuition. That may be how you are receiving the gifts. It may be just mental images. You could be thinking about something completely different and you're getting a clear picture of, again, some direction, some guidance for you to personally follow or even pass on. Like I said, who are you influencing? You may have guidance that you want to pass on to others. Are you clairsentient? Now, this is where you have the feeling. You don't know how you're getting this feeling. Yeah, the message is coming to your heart, it's coming through your emotion, and you're saying to yourself, I just know that this is the right thing that I need to do. So you're not tuning into your logical mind. It's coming from your subconscious mind, and again, maybe information that you're picking up from your intuition. Are you I can never say this word, claircognizant. So this is where you know. So you could be speaking, and I believe I am claircognizant, okay? And I can't say the word, but I know this is true for me. Where sometimes I have information that comes to me, and it's not necessarily information that I was thinking about previously, but my intuition tells me that that is the information that should either be said to somebody that I'm speaking to, or even information that I'm saying or thinking to myself, but I'm like, I don't really feel that this is me, okay? But it's the clear knowing that that's the right thing that I should be passing on. So these things are part of your superpowers. And as a woman, what I would say is, you know, listen to your intuition. Sara's going to talk to us about crystals, and there are crystals that can actually enhance your intuitive gifts as well. Okay. Now, when you are going through your own, I would say, strengthening of your superpowers, then yes, connect with others, but also ask for guidance and wisdom from your higher self. So it's interesting that Nora and myself were just talking about meditation, and we've already recommended David G, who we listen to. There's so many other guided meditations that you could listen to. But for me, once I've got into this direct practice of meditation, I just know that the gift that I already had, so like I said, it's the clear knowing and the clear feeling, which is clear sentience. I've had those gifts since I've been a younger woman. And now I'm older and I'm just learning more information about how the super consciousness is working and how we are all connected to everything. I'm just like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm willing to learn more. I want to learn more and I want to practice. So my message for you is, don't be shy, enhance your superpowers. You can test your superpowers out within your day-to-day life. And if you come across something that you're really working through in your life, it could be a massive change that you're going through, or it could just be actually you're wanting to take yourself to the next level. It may be the next level in your relationship, in your business, or actually you may be wanting to move house, whatever you want to do. Don't forget that those superpowers that you have are with you for a reason, and they can definitely support you as you do your transformation in the next area of your life. So that's what I wanted to say. And I know that what Sara is going to say, hopefully, no, I know, because I get that feeling. I've just told you I've got that feeling. So I've got a good feeling about what Sara's going to say when we now move on. Oh, no, we don't. Not yet. When we listen to Sara's talk. Told you I need this presentation to keep me on track. So as I've just said to you, as you are developing yourself, it's really important to be connected to others that are on the same mission as you. Now, I've got an invitation for those of you who are not in the Connected Sisters community, okay? You have an invitation to join us. We have a monthly accountability session, which is very practical. So that is really looking at what you're practically wanting to achieve in your life. Then you can come on the health and wellbeing talks like what we're doing this evening, and I will be arranging other talks for the women in that community. So they will be closed talks for those women. Then we have Self-Care Sundays. Now, Self-Care Sundays is one of the lifestyle workshops, which is more on the spiritual side. So we are actually we're looking at the chakra system at the moment, and I give a guided meditation at the end of that session. So it's $12.99 a month. If you wanted to get more information, or if you want to have a trial on any of those things, so come to a Self-Care Sunday session. I would say that's the best way to experience. And the Accountability Club, to be fair, we need to have a chat because I need to go through your one-to-one goal setting and really get in tune with where you're coming from. And I will say that in that clarity call, what I know to be true is that my intuitive gifts do come through. So, let me just share my testimonials rather than me talk about myself. What do the other women say? Well, Susie said that these sessions are full of growth. And she didn't realize it until she got a chance to talk them through. And in fact, we've got Alex on the call who was coming to the sessions. Alex, is there something you want to say about the happiness sessions? I think a live testimonial would be great at this stage, please.
Yeah, there was amazing energy every single time. And it was great to join just to feel the support and to share, your journey and to find all the support and guidance from you, Vanessa, and other ladies that were on the call. It was no accident who was there. We were there for each other. So yeah, that was yes, great experience. Thank you.
Do you feel that you got the breakthroughs that you needed at that point in your life?
Yeah, they led to to very significant changes. I think I even sent you a message after one of the calls. There was a big breakthrough then.
Exactly.
I remember emotions. I was really touched.
Fantastic. And this is the thing for myself, like as the facilitator, I've loved to hear these stories, so I'm gathering them. And I, you know, this is the invitation now for more women to come into this community and not only, you know, work through your own personal breakthroughs, but be there for other women who, we're all at different stages, but what I find is working together and supporting each other really does make a difference. So thank you so much for sharing, Alex. Okay, so this is the part of the conversation which, as I was just saying, I know is going to flow and tell us how what we describe as crystals, Sara might tell us about minerals as well, I don't know, but how these things can help us. So Sara Giller is here from the Oxford Mineral and Fossil Show. She's a wonderful woman. She's been my mentor as I've been networking and getting to meet other business leaders. So I really want to thank you so much for the support you've given me, Sara. And I was really fascinated when people kept telling me, do you know that Sara is a crystal and mineral dealer, or she used to do this? And I was like, what? I'm searching for somebody like this. And there you were the whole time. So Sara, it's over to you. I'm going to stop the share because we've done that introduction. Oh, wait, what's this telling me? Right, so this is the first. Here we go. I've lost it. I've lost it, right. I've told you to bear with me. Okay, so Sara, it's over to you. I'm just going to pin you for the recording. There you go, my dear. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that welcome, and thank you, ladies, for coming along tonight to hear what I might have to say. I said to Vanessa that, you know, it's something that I'm passionate about, so it will be quite difficult to, you know, keep me within the 25 minutes. So you'll be, you know, it's like one of those things where you get that cane and you're kind of like led off. But anyway, so there's no way that you can talk about everything to do with quartz within 25 minutes because there's so much to talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into 3 areas, basically. Well, 4, because I'm going to give you a short intro about me so that you have some idea of where I come from with minerals and why I feel that I have an authority to talk about them. I'm going to go on to what actually is quartz. We're going to look at the different types of quartz, and then we're going to look at uses of quartz. And within the time frame, you can only touch on stuff. And I've got a whole tray full of some of my lovely little friends, and I will be flashing them up from time to time. Anyway, so how I got involved was as a child, which is a long time ago now. Kind of looking at most of you. Well, actually, no, Nora might be in a similar frame to me. Sorry, Nora. Anyway, so when I was a kid, we used to go camping. At that time, we used to go down to beaches, and I used to always walk with my head down looking. And we always used to find fossils, marcasite, pyrite, all sorts of stuff like that. Which we don't tend to really find a lot of on the beaches anymore. But there are, there is stuff on beaches. You can find fossils. You can find amber if you're in the right way. And there are places where you can find quartz and stuff like that. So that kind of like kicked off a little bit of a spark within me. And then I'm going to skip a few things. I then, when I was about 30, I came into self-development. So I've been on my spiritual path for over 30 years. And it was during the time when I was doing my self-development, we were developing healing, modalities, getting in touch with ourselves, doing all the clairvoyant, all that sort of stuff. that I then decided at that part that I wanted to start collecting minerals in a bigger way. So I kind of like went into a part-time business with it, because for me, I don't like paying full price for everything. And if you can buy it wholesale, then, you know, you can get it much cheaper. So anyway, that's how I started doing part-time in the mineral world. And I did a crystal healing course. So that was over a year doing all of that, did all of that as well. And then I was a teacher. So I was teaching during this time, and I got fed up with all of that. It wasn't who I was anymore. And I'm a strong believer that you must be passionate about what you do. And if you don't love what you do, don't do it. So I wasn't really, you know, working with the kids was great, but all the adults were just the proverbial pain. So I then left and went full time to be a mineral dealer. So that's my background. So I've been a mineral dealer, been involved with minerals for well over 20 years. Okay, so that's my background. That's my provenance, as they say. So we come on to what actually is a quartz. A lot of people can confuse quartz with lots of other things, and to a certain extent, quartz is a bit of a shapeshifter. It likes to show itself up in lots of different ways. Okay, so it can be a little confusing, because you can get quartz in a whole variety of shapes and formations. You can get quartz with lots of different looks, lots of different colors, but it's still all quartz. Okay, so quartz basically is a mineral which is composed of silica and oxygen. It has a mineral chemical signature. It's the second most abundant mineral on the planet. So you'll find it practically every country has quartz. So you'll find quartz everywhere. There's a lot of quartz around Dingle Island, or if you want to go hunting down there. And I did find some actually small little pieces. But in most countries you will find it. So it's very abundant. It's quite hard. And the hardness of crystals and minerals is measured on something called the Mohs scale. And quartz has a hardness of 7. Now, the highest hardness is 10, and that is a diamond. So that means you can take a diamond, you can scratch it down a window, and it will scratch it. All right. So anything that is a hardness that is higher than something else will scratch it. So if quartz is harder than glass, if you scratch it down the window, it will scratch it. It also belongs to something called the Trigonal System. And this is it's almost like sacred geometry. Have any of you heard of sacred geometry? The platonic shapes, stuff like that. So nature is incredible. And these are all nature's pieces at their best. And they basically form to certain platonic shapes. And quartz in room temperature is trigonal. You can get most quartz is considered to be A quartz, not A quartz, but hyphen quartz. And you can also get beta quartz, and the beta quartz is very very rare, but it's a high temperature quartz, and it has a different look to it. So most tend to be this A quartz. And also, if it is the temperature is raised to above 573, it goes into a hexagonal system. But obviously, we don't find those because it's too hot to handle. So the typical shape of a quartz is a 6-sided prism, and a prism is something that it doesn't matter where you slice it, so the shape will be the same. So if you've got a tin of Spam and you slice it into slices, it's a prism to a certain extent because each slice will be the same shape. And it actually terminates usually in 6-sided pyramids, or what we call faces. So so if we take this, can you see this? Right, it has 6 sides to it. Now, most people think that this has been cut. And it's like, no, this is natural. This is a natural formation. This is how incredible nature is, right? Everything it makes is natural, not being cut. I can tell you cut and polish ones. So, and these pieces here are faces, and they are at a certain degree. And in some cases, these faces change, and then you can get some really interesting stuff coming. So something like this. Don't know if you can see. Can you see this flat face here? This has got, there are quartz books that tells you that if you come by quartzes like this, they have certain properties when you come to use them for healing and all the rest of it. And that is very unusual to have that diamond shape there. Very unusual. But you can see that it's kind of like flat at the back, right? And then most of the kind of like the angles are on the front of the piece. So it can change. Right. Now, I strongly believe that quartz, any mineral, well, crystals in particular, any crystal is actually does have, it is conscious. It has a consciousness to it, obviously slightly different to ours, and that's how you can connect with these things, okay? So it's the same as nature, the same as trees, plants, anything. There are consciousnesses attached to them. So there's a certain way of learning how to work with them. So, you know, yes, they are tools, but they are also beings in their own right, so I believe. And, you know, they become friends of mine. I'm not bonkers, but that's how they feel to me, okay? So that's a little bit about what is quartz. So what are the varieties of quartz that you can have? So there's 5 different areas that we can look at. So the first one is color. Now you've noticed that the ones I've been showing you are more or less transparent, right? They're more or less transparent. So they're clear, they're glassy. Those are kind of like terms that you would use, glassy. And that's quartz. Now citrine is yellow, okay? I haven't got any citrine for some reason or other. More often than not, what you find in the shops is something I'll come on to later, is it's usually irradiated. So it's usually amethyst that's been irradiated. It has a very burnt dark color. It's not natural. Natural citrine is actually quite pale, almost straw-like, and it's quite rare. And that's why that's it. That's why they burn it, because it's rare, right? Amethyst, you all know amethyst. So amethysty color. I'll show you this quartz in a bit because this is a special quartz. But amethyst can also be associated with smoky quartz. So you can get something like this, which is South African, where it's got a smoky top and then it's got a bit of an amethysty bottom to it. But obviously the amethyst that you tend to find in the shops is a deep, you know, it can go from a very, very pale to a very, very deep dark color, depending on the country it comes from. So usually the deepest, darkest colors come from Uruguay. So Uruguay is they have phenomenal amethyst there. And you can get them all different sorts of shapes. I've actually got one downstairs. I've got an amethyst that's probably, you know, about 1.5 feet, maybe a foot big, you know. Smoky quartz, you can get smoky quartz, and smoky quartz is naturally irradiated. So over time, it irradiates through you know, everything has radiation, and it turns it into a smoky color. And you can go from very, very pale smoky to almost black. I have black quartz, and black quartz is got another term. It's called something else, but it's still a quartz. And the black quartz that I have, which is from Brazil, has a very different crystal structure to it. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have those perfect six sides and stuff like that. And this one is exceptionally rare. Can you see the dots on it? So things like this, you'll only come across maybe once. So probably what happened here is that when the quartz was actually growing, there would have been, it usually quartz, any minerals, any crystals come from like a soup, and it comes from a heated soup. And when it starts to cool down, it begins to form its crystal structure, depending upon the minerals that are involved in that soup and the molecular structure of it. And probably with this quartz, there was probably an irradiated liquid that started to drip on the quartz as it was forming, and that's why you've got these Dalmatian spots on it, right? I've only ever seen this once in my 20-odd years. So that's quite interesting. You also have rose quartz. Now, rose quartz most people find in a big lump. You know, that's a mineral form, but you can get it in a crystal form. So this is a combination of smoky quartz on the tips, and then you've got rose quartz on the inside. Maybe I'll just have to take my my background off so you can see it a little bit clearer, right? So this would be a lot more expensive than just a blob or a massive piece of rose quartz, because it's crystalline and it's much more rare. Okay. And you can also get quartzes different shape. You can see the cat now, look. Bless her. So you can also get quartzes different colors because of the inclusions that it gets within it. And quartz is one of those phenomenal minerals that as it grows, it can incorporate other minerals within it, and you can get some phenomenal inclusion. So this is a blue quartz, and it's got either something like indicolite, which is a blue tourmaline, or dumortierite, or something or other in it that's actually giving it that blue color. We have other, this is a green quartz. This is a phrase. This is from China, and there'll be other mineral in it that's actually causing it to go that shape. And as you can see, the terminations on the top are very, very different to the white, the clear quartz that I showed you. So this is why I love quartz, because you get so many different varieties of it. Right, so I could keep going on about all of that because they're just absolutely amazing. And right, so you can come then by different forms, how it gets formed. Depending upon where it grows, depends upon the shape that it has, right? So this piece here is called a Fadden or Farden quartz, right? This grows in cracks, and you can see why, right? And the terminations are on both sides. So it grows from the center. There's usually a white line, usually something like white in the middle, and it then tends to spread out. So you have very, if this was to break off in single crystals, you'd have a very flat tabular quartz, and you can get tabular quartzes. I've got some phenomenal ones at home. But so they're double terminated, so they're terminated both sides. They're very thin, so you will be able to count up 6 sides, but they're not quite the same as this little dumpy fat one. All right. So this is a special quartz. So normally you find these in Pakistan. You have others that are called sectors, and sectors are quartz where you have a bigger top to the bottom. And I've got a very special one, which I love. This is in 3 steps, right? So this is called a sector quartz, where the top is bigger to the middle to the bottom. Now, normally you only get sector quartz in 2 parts. So you would normally only get a bigger, thick top and then a smaller one. And I've got a bed down, what's called a bed. I've got a bed of quartz downstairs from China, and the sectors are just off the charts. I mean, they're just really, really weird. That's my special one. And I've also got like this one. This is a sector. This is kind of like an amethyst. It's got quite a lot of drues or stuff on the sides of it, so it's not it feels a bit rough to feel. And this is smoky, so it's a bit of a smoky quartz, and again it's quite flat there with a amethyst top. Again, unusual. Then we get celestial quartzes, and I haven't brought one of those up, so that'll be something you'll have to find out about. And they're pretty special, the celestials. You can get things that are twinned. This is called a Japan law twin, and you can see there's a definite 2 crystals. Okay, again, it's tabular, it's thin, and these are quite rare, and especially this size. This one again is from Peru. Okay, and you get gwindles. This is called a gwindle. This is a smoky gwindle. Again, it has a twist to it, and some gwindles you can get obviously much bigger, and as the crystal grows, so it's a little bit like the Faden quartz, but as it grows it tends to twist. Yeah, this is really clear. You can see my face through it. Yeah, they have a special energy. That's from Switzerland. Right. And Herkimer's. I think I brought a little Herkimer. So this is a little Herkimer. They call it a Herkimer diamond, but it's a quartz. It always has this shape. It's always double terminated. This one has some oil in it, which is causing it to have those little yellow flecks. Sometimes you get petroleum in it, which causes I think this one's got a bit of petroleum, so there's a little bubble in there, and the little petroleum moves. So sometimes you can get water bubbles in the quartz, and they're quite cool because you can kind of like tip them like this and see the bubbles moving. You get a lot of those in the Herkimers. This one actually isn't a typical Herkimer because this one is from Pakistan, but the Herkimers normally come out of New York State, right? And then you've got different terms. So something like this, where you've got several quartzes all stuck together, you would call that either a bed or a cluster. Sometimes you can call it a druze, but a druze would be really small little crystals that kind of like form around it. Most of you, when you've seen amethyst, you'll see these huge, enormous cathedrals. So you would call them cathedrals, or you would call them geodes. The ones that come out from Brazil, you'll see that they have kind of like a green on the outside, and you'll actually see that they've been put together where they're held together with concrete. And normally those sorts of cathedrals are sold by weight. And obviously if you add concrete to it, it's going to weigh a bit more. But also, you know, they need a flat base. And sometimes what happens is that when they actually mine them and pull them out, they're not conducive to standing up. And I've seen amethyst cathedrals that you can stand in. Right? So, you know, you can get them huge. Properties. Quartz has the same property. It has something called piezoelectricity, which means that if you put it under stress, it emits a charge. And that's why you have quartz watches. They use quartz in industry a lot for various industrial purposes. So the main ones would be like quartz watches and stuff like that. It's also used, I don't know if any of you have heard about the med beds and, you know, all the new technologies that have been hidden from us that are coming. They're said to use quartz. I mean, our little brothers and sisters that live up there, they use a lot of their spacecrafts, apparently use crystals, Moldavite, all sorts of stuff. So I can't wait to get on one of these spaceships. I'll just be drooling over all the minerals that they use. So they have particular powers. As I said, they're found all around the world, but you need to be careful because they can be messed with. A lot of things, story once in our networking, I bought a small little collection, and there's something that's called strawberry quartz. Really, really rare. The only strawberry quartz I've ever found has come from like Kazakhstan. Has a very, very definite dumpy shape to it. Incredible stuff. very cherry coloured, all right. And I had a little pebble of it in this collection, and I thought, well, you know, I'll just eBay and see what people are selling them for. And when I put strawberry quartz in, all this stuff came up, and it was like, Jesus, it was just coloured glass. People saying, oh, I've got a you know, sphere of strawberry quartz. It's like, no, you haven't. Do you not know what strawberry? You haven't. So people are selling stuff as one thing when it's not. So you need to be very, very careful. Agates, for instance, agates are a form of quartz. They're not quartz themselves, but they're a form of, and they can be easily dyed. You know, so quartzes can suck up things very, very quickly. So you can dye them. And a lot of quartz now has stuff irradiated over it. So aqua aura, if you've seen that, beautiful, beautiful stone. It's not natural. It actually has gold radiated over it, so blasted over it, and the gold easily gets sucked into the quartz, and I don't mind that combination. I think that it's okay, but there's a lot of other types of quartzes, like rainbow quartz. They're not natural. They've got other minerals blasted over them, and for me they're a bit of an abomination, because it's like, why would you do that to something natural? You know, it's like dyeing your dog because, you know, you want to have it as a different color. It just doesn't make any sense. So be very, very careful what you are buying. So uses of crystals, so mostly they can be collector's pieces. So there are people out there that are collectors of minerals, collectors of crystals. I've got huge numbers, you know, anything strange and weird, I love it. So this is quartz with probably an agate or something that has covered the outer skin. Inside it's completely clear. It's like, it's weird, wacky. I only saw one of it. I've got stuff like, you know, I picked this quartz up. Really weird shape. Love it. Sort of thing I really like. This is another one. Almost looks like a space rocket, right? Probably stuff I've used in healing and things. You know, they're just amazing. And this one is probably a shard. It's probably fallen off of a bigger crystal, and then it's self-healed. So you can get quartzes that self-heal. Okay. I've actually got quite a big crystal downstairs. It's probably about this sort of size, and it looks like one part of it sheared off, moved slightly down the crystal, and then re-adhered itself, and then just healed itself. So it's like really weird, but it's like, to me, that's amazing, because not everybody's perfect, and it's obviously had a trauma and it's recovered from it. So that's in my house. So as Vanessa was saying before, you know, some of the things you can do with quartz is meditate with it, but you need to know how to join with it in order to ask its assistance to help you, so that you're not raping it, so to speak, and, you know, putting yourself on it. So before you even start using crystals, you really need to learn how to clean them. And don't necessarily assume. I made an assumption once. I'd gone to see this guy who was a healer, and he'd been running a healing circle, and he was selling his crystals. And my father decided to buy me one, which was quite a big one. You know, it's quite a big thing at the time. And I thought, oh, it'd be fine. It's been used for healing. That would be great. It's going to have really wonderful energies. And I put it in my house. And over a fairly short period of time, I kept coming into the house, and I kept thinking, my house is really depressed. It feels absolutely awful. What the hell is going on? And in the end, I thought, well, I just wonder whether it's this crystal. So I just chucked it. Well, I didn't chuck it. I actually put it outside in the garden, and I just left it. I left it in the garden for about a month or more. And when I brought it back in, it was fine, perfect. And so I then set an intention as to what this crystal should be, because crystals will soak up stuff. They will soak up energy, and so they don't self-heal. So you will need to cleanse them every now and again if you think they've picked up a negative charge, right? And that, you know, you can use salt, you can put it out in the garden and let nature deal with it. You know, it knows how to kind of like sop off these types of things. And again, sitting with it, I'm doing meditations at the moment. I've got a couple of quartzes. One's a Lemurian, what's called a Lemurian quartz. It has like little ridges down it, like this one does. I don't know if you can see. Can you see these little ridges? So Lemurian quartzes have that. And I've got an celestial quartz, which I use. So the part of healing that you can do with it as well. So using it for meditation will help to take you to your intent, so to speak, you know. So if you are wanting to increase your vibration, if you are wanting to, you know, open your pineal gland, if you're wanting healing or whatever, you know, you can put an intent into the quartz and ask it to help you to do that. And also, if you know what you're doing as regards to healing, then you can use quartzes for healing. If you are a healer already and you know what you're doing, then try it. If you're not a healer, then learn. That's what I would say. There was something that was really interesting. There's a woman called Eleanor Danan. Any of you heard of Eleanor Danan? I would say check her out, especially you, Nora, because you can go to the Dingle and go and knock on her door, because she lives over in Ireland at the moment. I don't know quite where you ladies are, what your history is, what you believe in, where you come from. But for me, at the moment, I think we're coming to a phase where we are getting rid of huge amounts of negative influence that have been going on for thousands of years. And we are coming into our true spirituality, our true evolution. Okay. So Eleanor Danan has been an abductee, but she's working with the good guys, and she is in contact with something called the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and they are involved in, you know, helping us clear out all the bad crap that's going on, and all the rest of it. Anyway, she did a workshop, and you'll find it on YouTube. There's a guy called Dan Willis. Dan Willis used to work in the military, and he worked with a guy called Marcus Vogel. And Marcus Vogel was a chief scientist for IBM, and he was experimenting with quartz. And I don't know how he came to this knowledge and this information, but he actually ended up cutting quartz. So he cut them into a specific shape. And he made sure that one end, the faces were cut at 60 degrees and the other end was cut at 52. So it was male, female, inside, you know, one end energy comes in, one end energy goes out. And he started to do a lot of healing work with these crystals. And he was getting some amazing results. And he's obviously passed. And Dan Willis, you know, was taught by this guy. So what they did is they put together a workshop, for want of a better word. It's about a two hour thing, and they did a lot of history of quartz. Where does it come from? How had it been used? And also Eleanor Danan has connections with the Nordics and Pleiadians and things like that. And so she was actually talking to the brother of one of the people that she has telepathic, well, she's not telepathic, she actually has an implant, so she can talk to him face to face, like, you know, that. So and he was saying about how he does terraforming. I don't know on what planets, but he does terraforming, and he was talking about quartz and how they use quartz and all the rest of it. And what he said was exactly what Marcus Vogel had said. So there was collaboration between, you know, an off-species ET and a you know, human, which was really, really interesting. And they were using these Vogel crystals. And in the end, what it culminated in was us doing a meditation. And there were roughly 1,800 people on that call. And the whole idea was to do a visualization using the quartzes to help us to visualize the future timeline that we wanted and to anchor it. And as soon as we'd finished that, somebody had posted, "Oh my God, have you looked at the Schumann resonance?" So the Schumann resonance shows the energy of the planet, and there was a big spike. There was a big, white bar all the way down. So we know that that's what we did. So I would encourage you to check out that video, Eleanor Danan, Danaan, and it's the one with Dan Willis. And there's all things about quartz, and mostly about the Vogel quartz. Now, Vogel quartz itself is quite expensive to buy, and there's a lot of people claiming they're selling Vogel quartz, and they're not. Again, it's another way in which it can be, people can make money out of it. So you don't necessarily need a Vogel quartz to do that meditation, and I would suggest that if you're interested, do it, because your energy will be added to what was done then, because we know there is no time, so everything is now. And you don't need a Vogel quartz. I haven't got a Vogel quartz, I just use an ordinary quartz. So and that means that the consciousnesses of the quartz, together with everybody in that room, meant there was over 3,600 consciousnesses planting that seed. And I'm well over time. I told you, that's
it is so fascinating. I did not want to cut you off, and I knew it. I knew that what I was talking about with superpowers, I knew you would add more dimension to that conversation. So it's been fascinating. We've had Nora talk about how interested she is, and I've left links for those of you on the live to the interview that Sara and myself did at the beginning of the year. Not of the year, what am I talking about? The month. In the now, Vanessa, get in the now. Where we actually go a bit deeper on those conversations that Sara has spoken about. Does anybody have any questions for Sara while she is live? You can hear how much knowledge Sara has on this subject. So this is your moment. Any questions?
Yeah, I have. So you said that they can self-heal, to where you talked about that one that was broken in that. So, but once they're mined, or for want of a better word, do they stop growing, or do they grow?
No, I don't think that they grow. I think that once they're taken out of the ground, and once they're taken out of the situation where they've grown, that's it.
Right. Yeah.
I think that also I have seen, I'm in a couple of Telegram groups and stuff like that, and there's people in there from all over the world, and some of them are into really what I would call wacky stuff, and not stuff that interests me. They get very much into the sacred geometry, even more, into the mathematics, the physics of it, and it's like, I'm not,
You mentioned geometry earlier. No, God.
But there's levels of it, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's levels. And they were saying that there's a woman called Abramovich, I think that's her name, and she's a dark witch. She's supposed to be, well, you just look at her.
It's awful. I think we'll move on from her. We won't bring the vibes down.
No, but the interesting thing about it is that she's put together a wall in Ukraine with quartz crystals coming out of it, big quartz crystals. Now, I would imagine that those quartz crystals, once they have been warped, that will be it. You can't heal it. I've come across some diamonds actually that I did everything to try and get the vibration and the energy back, and nothing. And the only thing you can do is return it to earth. And sometimes if the quartz has picked up too much dark stuff or whatever, it goes against the grain, because they're not like that. So that's what my opinion is. And the only thing that you can do with quartzes like that is return them.
Wow, that's fascinating, because you did speak about the life force energy of the quartz at the beginning, which I'd never really tuned into. Alex, I think you had a question and then you've gone back onto me. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I want to ask about Moldavite, because you mentioned Moldavite when you were talking, and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing one. I would like to learn more about it, because it's not, it was a meteor that like 5,000 years ago or something crashed, or I don't know, that's what I read. So I want to find out from you what's the real story and what's...
It's not a meteorites are heavy metal. It's more what's called a tektite. It's a form of a tektites are formed when meteorites impact on something that almost turns the ground into glass-like structure. Now, one of the things I have found out recently, I had a reading from a woman called Erin Lynn who goes into the Akashic records. So I'm open-minded to this. It's like, if it resonates with me, then it's fine. If it doesn't, I put it out there. Everything for me is on the table until it's proven one way or the other. And she was actually saying that she's recently come by a species who don't really like having interaction with Earth, but what they do is they send tools, and she's got it written on her website. And one of the tools that they have sent in the past is Shungite, right? That's Shungite. It's only ever found in Karelia in Russia, right? And it's the only mineral that has ever really affected me. And it affected me in making me feel so unbalanced, suffering from vertigo. I could hardly actually stand. It affected me that much. And there's a brilliant book about it by a French writer on Shungite, and because it's only found in Russia, they've been able to do lots of experiments with it without the big farmers getting involved in it, and they found that it doesn't need cleansing, but its main purpose is to help us to stop the EMF radiation affecting the body, right, affecting us. And it has other things as well. And she was saying that it was given by this particular ET group, and I would suspect that something like Moldavite has been the same, because Moldavite is only found in Czechoslovakia. There's only one area where it is, whereas other tektites tend to be brown or black, and you can get them from Thailand and Sahara and places like that. So Moldavite has particular qualities, very high vibrational qualities, and I'm sure that Eleanor Danan has said that in some of the spaceships that she's been in, they have like Moldavite walls, but I don't know about that. So I don't know too much about it, but it can take people quite high. It works on the crown chakra and all the rest of it.
Wow. Sorry, Alex, carry on.
I just was wondering, I don't know, can I show it closer to the camera? Can you say if it's maybe real? That's why I'm not having any special, I don't know, is that okay, Vanessa?
What you can do is take a photograph of it and send it to Vanessa, and she'll send it to me. Mm-hmm. Moldavite has a very particular look.
Yes, there's a
look. Yeah, that's it's a cut off piece. It's not a full piece. Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, I'm going to have to wrap this bit up because we have gone well over, but you can see, for those of you who were not on the live, why being on the live puts you closer to the speaker. Sara, it was absolutely fascinating.
My pleasure.
I appreciate, what is it, 20 plus years?
Yeah.
20, obviously to have that depth of knowledge, you've first-hand experience. So can everybody see the screen okay? Yeah. So I have put Sara's Facebook group here, the Oxford Mineral Fossil Show. So we've got a bit of background noise. I think that's back. Okay, the Oxford Mineral and Fossil Show. Please support the Facebook page. Sara, do you know when you're next doing something, when the next show is, please?
Yeah, we run 4 shows a year, and the next show is on July I think it's the 17th.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a Sunday. Always on a Sunday. It's in Kidlington. So if you go down get down to the M40, then yeah, it's the 17th. It's well worth going if you love minerals.
Oh, wow. Well, if you don't mind, if you could pass me the details, Sara, I've got a weekly like events listing. I'll start promoting that in the events listing for you. And Mark and I have family in Banbury, so we could definitely double up, have it as a family trip, and also a way of exploring these minerals. So thank you so much, Sara. It was definitely a topic that I wanted to know about myself. Now, I've just mentioned my weekly news update. It's all about health and wellbeing events. We've got Kay Downey in my cafe community on Facebook, and I also have another expert on there. But I'm looking for experts. If you feel that you have got a health and wellbeing message and you want to be heard by women, mainly women. I've got some men in there, but I will say it's a mainly women community. You want to get that message heard by more women who've actually held their hand up and said, I'm interested in health and well-being, then this is the community that you will need to be putting yourself forward in. So please have a conversation with me about that, become an expert in that community, and also I can feature you here and you'll be invited to do other things to showcase your services. All right. So I've got a question. If you do need the toilet or anything like that, then this is the time. But for those of you who are sticking around, if you were doing your own talk show, who would be your first 3 guests? So don't think too hard about it. Let's have a little bit of interaction on that question. Who would you invite to
Do
be?
they have can they be dead?
You want to bring them back from the dead, even though Sara and I've spoken about it being in the now, and superpowers may not stretch to bringing them back in the dead from the dead.
Well, I'm practicing automatic writing, and the one person I want to connect with is Mark Twain.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So energetically, Nora, keep going, because as we know, energy, it's never destroyed. So his energy will still be there somewhere.
Oh, he lives strong in me.
Brilliant. Who else would you have?
Oh, Christ. Talk show. I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy called Tommy Tiernan. He's an Irish comedian.
No.
He does a talk show where he does not know who the guests are before they come on. Sometimes he'll have heard of them. Most times he hasn't, and he's absolutely fabulous. But I'd love to have him on because he's amazing.
Ah, fantastic.
Brilliant listener. Best listener ever.
Brilliant.
And I don't know.
I like the sound of not knowing who the guests are. So is that his team that organizes people and then they just turn up?
Yeah. And he's so good at what he does that but he's a comedian. He was never an interviewer, but it's amazing. I don't know. Who else would I like to interview? Jesus, that's Sara. You could keep talking about.
Yeah, so who would you interview?
Absolutely.
Who would you interview, Sara?
I just loved it.
Tesla.
Oh, that's a good one. But try not to get the ones who have passed. Let's have names of those who we can connect with.
How do you know he's passed?
Oh, that's a very good question. But in terms of his age, sure. Well, okay, we won't go there because there's other things about him, and you know how much I love him as well. But what about Eleanor Danan? Because you've spoken to me about her a few times now.
Yeah, she'd be quite interesting, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, somebody that. I think Elon Musk. I think I would like to find out what he's up to. For sure. There's a lot of people that think that, Princess Di and Elvis and Michael Jackson are still alive and stuff like that. So I'd probably want to have inroads into finding out what the hell has gone on and how's it gone on.
Fantastic.
There's been some really interesting posts with old film of like in the, I don't know, 1800s of people on like motorized scooters.
Oh, I've seen that, but I saw those images years ago. So maybe I time traveled. I don't know. But those images are definitely not new to me.
I haven't seen them before. It's yeah, it's interesting as to, you know, where did things start changing?
Yeah. So I don't know if the others have gone off camera, so I'm going to move on. But I think that was a really interesting question. So I am interested to know if anybody is doing this type of show, who would you interview? Now, just moving on, I would love to have an opportunity to share a little bit about my story. This is about changing your mindset to change your life. And this is about how I really started to change my eating habits, which were all over the place. So I didn't eat properly when my children were teenagers. There was a lot of takeaways going on and I was all over the place. So actually I had low energy, but I did do a lot of exercise. So I've always been a woman who's loved exercising, but my nutrition was all over the place. And I came across Herbalife Nutrition by exploring personal development. And I dropped 2 dress sizes. So that photograph is like the one of me and Mark there. I think we'd only been dating for about a year or something like that. So it's one of our little treasure photographs. But he said, oh, I love you any size, but I really wanted to slim down. So I dropped 2 dress sizes. And then, you know, as many of you know, I've been an older mom. So I had Zenta, I think conceived when I was 42. So in terms of how my pregnancy went, I did put some pounds on, as you can see in the photograph with my green headband on. But now, you know, I've still got a lot of energy after I've had Zenta, back on my healthy, active lifestyle, back on my nutrition. And the daily accountability is really helping. It's called the 10-day marathon, and that's the invitation that I've got for you coming up. But in the meantime, if you want to know about how your body is working on the inside, so maybe you're not really tuned in with things like your muscle mass, how much body fat you're carrying, and I mean internal body fat that you cannot see, or how much water you've got in your system, then I'd love to have a conversation with you. This is where we can talk about your wellness and evaluate it. And I will give you some tips and give you an action plan to get you going to make some lifestyle changes. All right. So oh gosh, it always goes. I told you it goes wrong. It goes good and then it goes wrong. Where have we gone? Okay, so let me tell you about, is that right? No. Oh, it's all wrong. What am I doing? It always does this. I always mess up my slides. I become a comedy show, Nora. Honestly, when I look back and I think, what on earth? What happened? So I think I'm on this one.
Vanessa, stop saying that you always mess it up. Because
I know. I'm making it happen.
You're just
I'm just affirming it. Okay. But I think I'm out of sync somewhere. So I think I need to close the slides. No, I'm just going to carry on. We're here. I want you to celebrate your wins, but I don't think these slides are in the right order. So that's that now troubling me. Something went wrong. Anyway, let's celebrate your wins and then I will catch up with my slides. So when I talk about your wins, we've spoken about your health and well-being, but my lifestyle workshop, which is the Happiness Habits Club, is about the practical side of your life. So this is where you're doing your goal setting and you're actually, you know, maybe thinking about how you want things to change. I really do feel it's important that as we move into the next month, which is 1st of July tomorrow, let's just take some time to celebrate your wins in the month of June. So whoever wants to go first. So this, I'm talking about, you know, your life. If you're in business, I've got Sara, Nora, I've got Denise, I've got Rebecca with me. So we've got a business women community on the call. Let's celebrate your success in the month of June. So whoever wants to go first, I'd love to hear from you. Go on, Nora.
There's no, oh, it wasn't that much. It was, no, I finished and published a story that I've been working on for, it sounds awful that I've been working on it for 4 years. I started it 4 years ago. I put it down and I only picked it back up a few months ago, but I actually finished it and I really love it. I've had fabulous people help me with it. You know, because editing is everything. It's now, I'm now, tomorrow I'm starting Camp NaNoWriMo. I don't know if you know NaNoWriMo. It's so NaNoWriMo happens from the 1st to the 30th of November. You write 50,000 words in a month. Camp NaNoWriMo happens in July and you can set your own word count. So it's the 1st to the 30th. But it's great for getting you into the writing habit, if you follow it. But anyway, I'm doing a follow-up to the story, and yeah, it's good fun.
Wow. Well, that doesn't sound like something that I can take on at the moment, but when I am ready to write, I would definitely follow up with you about that and get more information.
It's a great way to, it's a great way. Look at, no matter what happens, even if you only did 20,000 words in a month, it's 20,000 that you wouldn't have done before.
Exactly. You're on the move. So congratulations for the book. If you've got a link that you wanted to share with those who are on the call now, please feel free to grab that link and give out the information.
I will. And it's only $2.99, but the first €1 goes to the Dogs Trust Ireland. So.
How amazing. So we do have dog lovers on this call as well, so please support Nora with that book. So anybody else wanting to celebrate, so this is a practical win, so you've used your superpowers because you are fantastic and you've achieved something that you were working towards. Who wants to share? I think I've got some things in the chat. Okay, so we've got Sara. She's winning. She's definitely winning. So Sara's inviting you to connect with her. Thank you for doing that, Sara. Yeah. Anybody else wanting to share something? Okay, well, I'm just going to celebrate my win of Zumbini because I'm really excited about the Zumbini interest. So I've just finished my first 6-week program in the local area where I live. And I put out, and Julia's not on the call, but she helped me to produce a digital flyer, and that's gone out. It's been printed now, but the digital flyer, honestly, since Thursday of last week, even up to today, I think I've had 2 inquiries. I haven't even had a chance to follow up properly with one of them. I'm getting inquiries every single day. So it's such an exciting time to know that I'm going to be meeting a whole new group of mums and little ones. That's happening next Friday, and just see where those conversations take me. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so let's move on. Let's see which slide we end up on. I didn't know you could take it, click it there. All right, so I mentioned the Self-Care Sunday. This is an invitation for any of you who feel that I'm so busy, and actually I need to take that time for me. This is where I'm inviting you to nurture a deeper relationship with your higher self. You can clear your mind in this workshop. It's what I describe as my spiritual offering. So we do talk about spiritual things in there, but we do meditation. We're looking at the chakra system. So you have an opportunity to reduce your stress levels and also boost your emotional well-being. It's really important that you tune in to how you are feeling. So the next workshop will be Sunday, the 10th of July at 8 o'clock. All right, so before we close, it is raffle time. I think everyone's still on the line. Yay. Ooh, look at this bit. And there are some sparkly lights as well. I try and make it a fun experience for you being on the call. Okay, so let's see. Oh, should I tell you what the prize is? I don't have it out loud, but sorry, written down, but just by the top of my head, it's a half-day experience with me, which is a self-love experience. So I can do this remotely as well, don't worry about it. And I'm also gifting some skincare from my Herbalife skincare range. Oh, That one flew out. I love it when things like that happen, honestly. So who was that? Energy. It's all about energy. It's Nora! You know, can I just say, Nora and I have not met each other. She's in Ireland, I think. I'm in Nottingham. But the first conversation we had, Nora, I was just like, I love this woman, honestly. And then the one that we had to cut it off because we were like, no, we've gone over time. We will rejoin. So that is Waver's.
You know, I actually went before you when you started shaking. I just went, whoo!
You jumped out. You jumped out. So let's get the second prize.
Fabulous.
Fantastic. Okay, second prize. So this is the skincare. Who's this for? Rebecca! Do you know what, Rebecca? I think with the skincare, me and you could actually do a pamper evening. Is she still with me? I hope she is, because I heard her talking to somebody. Okay, well, she can still have the prize. Rebecca's actually my best friend. Duty. Yeah, she's on puppy duty. She's actually my best friend. And I feel that actually, you know, I've been so busy this week. Rebecca's been busy with moving and doing all sorts with her family. So we are overdue a pamper evening as best friends. So I'm really pleased that that came through. All right, let's have a look. So this was the invitation that I had for you. It's called the 10-day marathon. It's a low-cost, fun way if you want to tune in with your health and well-being and you really want to look at how your body is responding to the exercise and your eating habits for 10 days. Please come and join me. It's a fantastic fun club. We talk about nutrition and I will keep you accountable, and there is community support built in as well. So please have a word with me about that if you want more information. So what's coming up next? Well, I have another wonderful woman that I've met within the business community. Her name is Elka Housla, and she's the natural painkiller. And honestly, I am looking forward to this one because my leg is really hurting me. It's my knee and my leg. So she will be here on Thursday, the 28th of July at 7:30. Please do not miss this one. You know, all these conversations are so fascinating, and Elka has got quite a few modalities. I've heard her speak about her modalities and they are really, really interesting. So let's get booked in with that. All right, so we are going to do a bit of networking if you want to stay on the call, because happiness is an inside job, and I really do feel that it's the ones that we meet who really pull these things out of us as well and help us to look at life in a different way, so you don't know where conversations are going to take you. And Zenta's coming downstairs, so it's a good time to end the call because this recording is going to get spoiled. So if you're not already on my email list, I'd love to communicate with you. I'm a bit behind on my kind of like, this is what I've been up to writing, but I'm very much on track with telling you about health and wellbeing activities that are coming up for you. And as I said to Sara, I'll be featuring the Oxford Mineral and Fossil Show as well, and other events, so please get on that list. Okay, so the recording is going to end now. So for those of you who have tuned in to the recording, thank you very much. I will leave links, all the things that we've been speaking about, I'll leave that at the end. And for those that are still here, let's network. Okay, well, how do I stop everything? Yay!